getting endorsements from someone like Dalai Lama just motivated me even more that this
Wonderful.
is.
From the Garden State, New Jersey, from one mom to another, it's time for Mom's Talk. Here's Avani.
Welcome, Supermoms, to Mom's Talk. I am Avani, your show host, and our today's Supermom guest is an author. Joining us, Priya Kumari. Welcome to the show, Priya.
Hi, Avani. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I can see tons of books right behind you, and that shows your love for books and reading. So, first of all, I wanted to congratulate you for launching your books. I think you have launched more than one. What is it all about? I can see all those different colors and pictures in the background. I can read My Holy. So, what is inside this book?
So yeah, I launched 2 books this week, which is My Diwali, Lights of Virtue, My Holy, Colors of Cheer. So basically, I am a children's author, so I write children's book, and these are uplifting stories inspired by Indian culture, values, peace education, traditions. And what I like to do is to bring about the relevance of Indian traditions and values in today's times, because मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं, एक 7.5 साल का और एक 3.5 साल का। उनको कुछ भी बोला जाए करने को तो first thing they'll ask is why should I do it, right? And it's very important we as mothers to answer that question in a right way, so that they have the sense of belonging to their roots and culture.
True.
So यही why I have tried to put in my books कि क्यों करें हम, अगर होली मनानी है और ये रिचुअल्स करने हैं तो हम क्यों करें, दिवाली मनानी है तो लक्ष्मी पूजन करना है, फायर क्रैकर्स रोस्ट करने हैं, राम जी की पूजा करते हैं तो क्यों करते हैं, ये सारी चीजें मैंने बताने की कोशिश करी है बुक में, so that when kids have questions, parents have right resources, they have right resources कि अगर if you have older kids, they can read the book. If you have younger kids, these are beautiful illustrated books. They can see pictures and you can explain the story, read to them as a bedtime story. And so that's what I do, and I love doing it because I am a daughter of a bookstore owner. So
all right, exactly. That's what I wanted to ask you. Where did you get this inspiration from?
Yeah, so I was born and brought up in Siliguri, the foothills of Himalayas. So I was blessed to be born and brought up in that place. It is a beautiful place, diverse, and as a daughter of a bookstore owner, I had a privilege to read so many types of books, like from Disney to books, research papers, to school books, everything. It was there at my disposal. So that's where I derived this knowledge of Indian culture, traditions. And then I happened to be married to a family where my mother-in-law is also an Indologist. So she entire life, she's an author and researcher too. And
so this was destined.
Yeah, this was destined. So I remember my grand uncle, like my husband's grand uncle, is a very great author and researcher, Professor Lokesh Chandra. So after marriage, when I went to his house and saw his huge library, like he has 600 publications in his name.
Wow.
And when I saw it, and I was like, this needs to be carried forward. And so much more information I got from my mother-in-law, from my grand-uncle. I was like, this needs to come out for children. And it is so relevant and it's so needed.
True.
So, yeah. So this
I think it's a brilliant idea, Priya. I think a lot of us who reside outside of India, we kind of struggle to provide the right kind of information in a right form to our kids. Actually, सही बताएं तो हमें भी कई चीजों के बारे में नहीं पता होता है. You know, I think these books help us learn a lot of things. and we can transfer that knowledge to our kids too, because it keeps us rooted and our kids know where they are coming from too. So this is a brilliant idea. Wish you all the very best and all the
Thank you.
success for all your books.
Thank
Now,
you.
tell me, Priya, books के साथ आप सराउंडेड हैं, मगर आपके मन में वो चीज होनी कि I'll pick up a book and I'll start reading. Was something like that, was kind of, were you guided that you should read books, or something of that sort just came from within that, because you're looking at so many books, I would just pick up and I'll start reading? Is this thing, did this thing start from there?
I think it came very naturally to me. And given the times we were growing, there were not much of screen time and things, right? Like toys you have now, the screen time you have. So you had limited resources of entertainment, and books were one big source. So I think during that time, it was very, very normal to read. And growing up surrounded by books obviously gave me a little bit of advantage, because I didn't had to go out and look for books. It was just right there. After जैसे स्कूल से हम 2 बजे घर आते थे तो पापा को बुक स्टोर में हेल्प करते थे, वहां पे बैठते थे. तो जब कोई नहीं है, it was very normal to take out anything and start reading. So it was very natural, and I feel abhi bhi it is very natural, given that kids have that time to do so. For my son, it came very naturally. He is an avid reader. He can read chapters and chapters of books daily, and that's the only reason he gets scolding, which is sad, right? He doesn't clean his room. He doesn't.
ऐसा भी होता है.
Yes. So उसको फिर डांट पड़ती है कि अब उठो, book छोड़ो. You have to leave. You can't complete a chapter book in a single day. I did that because I didn't give him screen time a lot. और विंटर्स में वैसे भी यहाँ इतना आउटडोर टाइम नहीं हो सकता है. समर्स में there is limited time because you can spend more time outside. So it came very naturally to him as well, and I'm sure it can come naturally to every child, given that little availability part is taken care of by parents, because I make sure कि every 2 weeks हम library जाएं, and they can get 50, 60, 70 books, as many as they want. And it's literally like I have to take 2-3 trips to my car to keep that in the trunk, because these are so many, and I don't stop them. I'm like, take it, it's for you to read. They'll read it, then we'll return, we'll get another batch. We'll buy a lot of books online, and whenever we get a chance, we go to bookstores. So अगर अवेलेबिलिटी होगी तो इंटरेस्ट अपने आप आ जाएगा. दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड टू मी, राइट? इट वाज अवेलेबल टू मी, तो इंटरेस्ट आ गया, तो पढ़ लिया, तो सीख लिया. क्योंकि अगर रीडिंग आ गई तो कुछ भी पढ़ सकते हो, व्हिच इज व्हाई आई थिंक आई वाज ऑलवेज अ वेरी गुड स्टूडेंट एज वेल, क्योंकि पढ़ने में मजा आता था. तो चाहे बुक की किताब, स्कूल की किताबें पढ़ लो या स्टोरी बुक्स पढ़ लो, डिज्नी पढ़ लो, पढ़ना था.
This thing actually works. लोग बताते हैं, बोलते हैं इस बारे में कि आप books rakha karen. There should be a library in your kids' room, and someday they'll pick it up and they'll start reading. So let me ask you this, Priya. How has this reading habit of yours developed you as a person, or changed you as a person?
As an author, if I would say, it has really helped me, because I have that content in mind कि क्या reasons हैं हमारी traditions की. Also because I was born and brought up there, my mom told me so many things, right? My mother-in-law tells me so many things, and that background of reading also gives me some knowledge कि क्यों होता है, क्या होता है, Indian history, culture, इन सब चीजों के बारे में. So as author, it really helps me. But as a person, I feel it gives you your safe space. Like, it's a good way of spending time with yourself as well. So abhi as a children's author, I feel I read more of children's book. क्योंकि वही रहती है घर में, chapter books, children's book, तो मैं वही उठा के पढ़ लेती हूँ. And
That's keeping the child in you alive. So that's a
yes.
good thing.
Yes, and that's what I try to bring in my book. So मैं हर picture book में I give detailed author's note and glossary ताकि
Mhm,
parents को भी जब समय मिले वो उसको पलट के देखे, and they also have this feeling that they gained so much from the book,
mhm,
because
mhm.
not everyone has the time to read big books and novels now, right? With 9 to 5 lifestyle which we are living in today, we have limited time. Like parents are
Mhm,
working, बच्चे भी हैं, घर के काम भी हैं, everything. Picture books are a great way to enhance your knowledge as well.
mhm.
And if you pick up right picture books, they can be great source of knowledge. Like my book, especially, I include those things just so that the books can be a conversation starter for kids, for a family.
Mhm,
तो
mhm.
स्टोरी के बाद भी जो सवाल आए वो फिर सारे ऑथर्स नोट एंड ग्लॉसरी में फिर जवाब दिए हुए हैं. They are answered there for parents
Mhm,
to
mhm.
start this conversation. So I think whatever you read, picture books, novel, comics, everything, reading will always help you in one way or the other.
Lovely. So, did you always wanted to be an author?
No, I don't think that was in my wildest dream as
How
growing
did it
up.
happen then?
So it was out of necessity actually. So I moved here. I started making things for I was making Hindi activity book and
Mhm,
stories for my elder one. He was then 2.5. That's when I started writing things for him. And once we started going to libraries because he was growing to be a reader, and obviously he was interested in Indian culture, festivals, books about India because we visited India every year, and he loved being there with my parents, with paternal grandma and grandpa. But the books we got were not a true representative of where we come from, as
mhm,
born and raised in India. And that's when I realized that I need to elevate this world's view of India and Indian culture. And it's very much needed because that is causing a lot of problem with little children, because if they don't have right books which gives them pride, then it will help. It will it will just I don't know, it won't give them self confidence as a person,
mhm, mhm.
because your roots give you that confidence, right? You are
True.
so that is required, and the books didn't give him that. It was all, mostly I would say it was trash poverty. And still if you go to libraries and school libraries, that is what India is represented as, right?
Mhm,
Evils are there in every society. I wouldn't say there aren't any evils and it's perfect, but then only showing evils in a picture book won't be correct, right? You
mhm,
The values are still relevant, the traditions are still relevant if you provide it in a proper context, if you provide it with proper reasoning, science. There were none.
mhm,
Very few good picture books. That also, mostly they would talk about what we do, nothing why we do. So these were all unanswered questions which I was answering. And I realized that now is the time that I need to put this out to the world, because there are many parents who are struggling.
mhm.
Because growing up, my kid is very friendly. So I had a huge circle of parents as friends,
Uh-huh.
and they also came to me asking these questions.
Yeah.
And I always had those answers. So I was like, now is the right time that I should start writing. And I started writing, and then getting endorsements from someone like Dalai Lama just motivated me even more, that this is
Wonderful.
something I never dreamt of. But yet,
Uh-huh.
the way I wrote it was unique. The way I presented it was unique.
Mhm,
The whole concept of interdependent origination of life was presented for children for the first time. And for me, growing
mhm,
up in Siliguri, it came very naturally. So I saw that it is being accepted very well, and there is a
uh-huh.
need of it, and that's when I started doing it.
Mhm, mhm. Wonderful, wonderful. So, have you आपने कुछ और पढ़ाई करी है या it?
Yeah, so I am a CA. So chartered
All right.
accountancy is what I did in India, and I was working with Big Fours for quite some time. And then I came here, I did my CPA, which is an equivalent degree, the certified public accountant, equivalent degree to chartered accountancy in India. I did that. And I still think, I still get offers from my previous companies, but they are like, my seniors are here in US now. They are like, you should join, you should try. But I'm like, no, it has to wait, or I can't, because this is something more important, which I want to do. And that is how I want to give back to my community and my society and to my future generation, because peace education, cultural education can help drive harmony to the world, bring harmony to the world. And this is how I see myself now, and that is what I have been doing. But yeah, I do like auditing, I do like accounting. So I think somewhere down the line, whenever I have that time to juggle between 2-3 things, I will be doing that as well.
Absolutely. No, you said it right, Priya, that, you're helping a lot of people. You're helping a lot of kids build that confidence, knowing where they're coming from, educating the parents as well. I think this is a wonderful way of giving back to the society. So thank you for doing that, Priya. Now, you said you have 2 boys.
Yes.
What would be your message for all the mothers?
I think for today, the only word which I stress on is peace education. And what that means is individual, social, ecological peace. And all these 3 things are very, very important to make the world a happier place. Individual peace, to teach your children, to show your children to be happy from within. Giving them tools to manage their emotions better, raise them with values of duties and goodness. So individual peace is happiness from inside. Social peace is to live in harmony with everyone, be accepting, and be tolerant, be accepting, and at the same time be aware of the world you are living in. So it's good to know about every culture, be open-minded to accept new things. So that is required to bring about social peace, right? Because if we are not open-minded and if we don't give that to our children, it will be very difficult. We are in a diverse world, right? So we need to be accepting to bring harmony in this world. So social peace and ecological peace, again, if we are not living in harmony with nature, there are not many 100 years that we'll see this earth like we are seeing it now, right? So that is very important, to give the values of ecological peace, that how to make it more sustainable. If you have toys, reuse them, donate them if you don't need them, reduce the use of plastic, and so many things small things which you can do at home, and that will pass on to generations in your family and help sustain the world. So this is what I tell everyone. Just peace education is what is needed in the times like today.
That's true. And, you said it right. We also have to be aware of our surroundings, and most importantly, to learn about different cultures as well. When you do that, when you teach your kids as well to learn about different cultures, that also helps, that helps them communicate in a better way and build that confidence. So Priya, is your book, or are your books self-published, or how is it? How did you go through that entire process of publishing, which is not easy, I guess?
Yes. It's a lot of learning. So I have my own publishing company now. So it's an independent publishing.
All right.
Eternal Tree Books. I publish other authors as well. So I have published 4 other authors till now.
Amazing.
And I'm publishing 3 more next year. So as an independent publisher, I also I'm also a member at Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee at IBPA, which is the largest trade association for independent publishers in the US. where we are trying to bring representation in the publishing industry, which is great. Like, I get to voice my thoughts there, which has been wonderful. And I'm also a founding board member at South Asian Kidlit, which is an advocacy group for South Asian literature,
Right.
independent literature. So there again, I'm contributing as a publisher my knowledge on how to create industry standard books, because independent publishers and self-published authors are bringing out great authentic content, but to be able to find space in the industry, in the bookshelves, in the libraries, they need to be of a certain standard, right? They need to be good. They need to be of good quality, editorial quality, picture quality, everything. So that's what I do there. I just try to help independent authors, and it's great. And yeah, so it's no longer a self-published venture. It's a traditional indie publishing company now. Eternal Tree
Wonderful.
Books.
Once again, all the very best for your launch, your book launch. And we would love, love, love to see many, many more books coming from your publishing house. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for bringing that change in the society. It's a wonderful way of giving back. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Avani. It was great seeing you and talking to you. It was lovely.